Hello and welcome to Clay Forge, where I, the Clay Forger, am going to make a tiny little figure out of oven baking clay. Today I'm going to make a troll. Like my first videos, he is inspired by the game Kingdom Rush, or to say by the Kingdom Rush series of games. And this is a troll, red hair, blue skin. I actually made a video making this troll before, but the quality of the video was so bad that I didn't want to upload it, and the lighting was bad. There were some fails in it from the cutting, recordio mistakes, so I didn't want to upload such a failure. So I'm doing it again. Hopefully this time it's going to be better. I will prepare the colors, and to make the video shorter than the last two, I'm going to cut it a bit more, so you won't see a full live action, but more of the single steps how I'm making the figure. So now I've prepared the colors. First off, we need not many. The main colors are of course the blue for the skin, the orange for his hair, a bit of brown variants and a bit of beige for his clothes, then a bit of silver for his weapon. Unlike the other I just showed you, he will have a weapon. A bit of bone white, I would call it, for the teeth. And this tiny little piece of wire I will coat in brown clay and make a weapon out of it. So I'm going to prepare the first step. For the first step I'm going to make the weapon, because I think it's the easiest part to show you now. You just squeeze it in and close it so you can't see any more of the wire. One thing you have to be careful about, sometimes you get air holes, air bubbles in between the clay and the wire, and if this happens you can basically do it again, because then it's not going to be solid. And in oven baking, the worst thing that could happen would be that the clay would like to get the air out of it, so there would be holes in the clay, and that's something I truly don't want. So I've covered it. Now for both ends, on the one end it's going to be an X, so on the one hand there's going to be the X head, and on the other hand there's just the end, so nothing really special. A tiny little dot of clay to mark the end. And now we need a bit of silver. This is normal silver from Female Effect. You can buy it in this color, and I'm just going to roll a bit. Now I'm going to use another tool to mark out how the X is supposed to look like. Of course an X can look different in variants, but for the game design, as I said, the troll is from the game Kingdom Rush. He has a particular X design. So, as you can see, it's very pointy at both ends. And now to make the sharp edge of the axe, just cut in a slight angle, not straight down, but in an angle. And so you will get a nice sharp blade. Now let's smooth the blade a bit, because most blades are not edgy. They are sharp but not edgy, and so this is going to be a bit more rounded now. You can give it a little details if you want, like inside the axe, but I'm not going to, because I think it looks good this way. Now I'm cutting it off the table. As you can see, I'm bending a bit the edges so it's even more pointy. So now I'm going to take my tool again, make a bit of kind of like cracks into the axe blade so it looks a bit worn down, because I mean, it's a troll. I don't think he has the best axe to work with. Now I've already attached it, and now just the final head, final detail, a tiny little dot on the top. And now you have a finished axe for the troll. Later I will add a tiny piece of rope, but now I will get to the body. I've made the shape of the body. As you can see, I just rolled it a bit and squeezed it so it looks even a bit like a square. And now I'm going to cut it. Now we have our upper body. This upper body is very tiny. In Kingdom Rush there are different types of trolls. So you see there's this very normal troll that you encounter very often. It's just named troll. But there are also different kind of trolls, like a troll champion. These are the ones that use the axes, but I think this tiny little guy, a normal troll, can also use the axe. Then there are the chieftains, so the tribal leaders. They are mostly equipped with drums to like power up the other trolls. So they have more of an passive ability, and the normal attack is just beating you with a drumstick, so not that efficient. And then you have also the troll pathfinders. They are later in the game when you have finished the main campaign in the first game, and yeah, they are not that difficult. They slide on ice, so they can be tricky to get. If they are on ice, you can't stop them in the game. But overall, they are not the strongest enemy. And then at last, Troll Breaker. I think if you can hear the name Breaker, you can already suggest that it's going to be a tough time with him. He has high armor, so like damage with swords and arrows doesn't make anything, or nearly nothing. And he's mostly a very tough guy, very high health. He even has regeneration like the other trolls, and he's very tough to take down, but it is possible. And now I'm going to create a tiny normal dwarf. The point is, the normal trolls, not dwarves. I don't think a troll is a dwarf, bit of size difference, but the trolls, normally the normal trolls, the little ones, use spears, but at the moment I don't think that it's always necessary to make tools they need. I think this one can also work with an axe. As you see or saw, I made the body. Now I'm going to make the lower jaw of the troll. I can even show you a bit of reference with another troll. This troll is a troll I used in the last video at the beginning. As you have seen in my other videos, I'm always going to show you a finished and already finished model and then make another one. So in the last video, which I failed, I already had this troll and made the other one with the fists up in the sky. This guy has a spear, or you could say a piece of a spear. The tip is missing. I can later create that. But he also looks more like a troll champion. They have a very extinguishable design. And yeah. Now to make the lower jaw. He has, as you can see, two giant teeth, tusks you could say, and these are the holes for the tusk. So they stick out of the mouth like a boar. Reminds me a bit of a cyclops, which also sometimes had these kind of tusks. Now, this part is finished. It doesn't really look like much at the moment, but it will be more in the end. Now the head, the upper part of his head, the upper jaw. I will create a form and make another cut because I already see I'm on 10 minutes. I don't want the video to be too long. As you can see, I made the head. It's not really finished. The eyes I'm still missing, and the ears and the entire hair, but I already made the holes for the tusks. And now to the next part of the body. This will be the legs, and let's go. So for the legs, I'm taking a worm of clay, a very big worm in short. I cut the edge off to place it now here. As you can see, it lines up very good, very well. Now I'm going to cut this away so we can place his legs, or make his legs, by cutting a triangular shape out of it. Now they already look like legs, but it's not real legs. You can see they have very sharp edges, and I don't think you want to have such kind of legs. So we smooth them a bit. You can also make this with your fingers, rolling it a bit again and again. You have to be careful to not make the legs too long, but I think they now already look different. So the legs are finished. As you can see on this model, he has some fur coat, I would say, cloth, and I'm going to create it later. But now I'm going to make the tusks of the troll. His tusks are made out of bone white. It's white, normal white, mixed with Sahara color, so kind of a beige tone. And his tusks are shorter than some other ones from other trolls, so they don't have to be too big. Yeah, I think that's fitting. They barely shine out of the mouth. Another thing that a troll of course needs is, you can see it here, his big nose. Can't forget that. So for his nose, we just roll a piece of clay on one side so it gets pointy, and then cut it. Then you can stick it onto your fab and just smooth it so it gets like a very pointy nose. And you have your nose on your troll. Now, a troll needs feet, and so I'm going to create the feet now. For this, as they're not that special, I'm just making some shapes into them to make the toes, so I will leave that part away. As you can see, the feet are ready, just 3 toes and the nails. The nails are not really made on, they're just made pressing in the clay like this. As you can see, this troll has just 2 toes, but you can make them with 5 toes like normal humans. You can make them with 4. You can even make them with like 3 or 1. That's your decision. Now, we could already put his feet onto his legs, but I'm doing one little detail, a bit of fur coat, like the end of the legs of the trousers. Just press that down. Not much of a work, but it's a fine little detail that will help you make it look good. Also, the size of the feet is like anything on this figure individual, so you can let him have very tiny feet or very big. I have made some trolls before, and their feet sometimes were really big. Sometimes they were too small, and the biggest problem with having too small feet is that if the feet are too small, you would fall over or fall behind. And that's something I truly don't want with my figures, as I want them to stand. Now on to the arms. The arms are also just rolling out a piece of clay into a worm and then cutting it in the middle, and then you already have two arms, so that's also going to be cut. As you can see, the arms are ready. So they have the little cloth piece. The arms have a bit of texture, and their hands. It's not that detailed, but I think on such a scale it doesn't need to be. The other arm, and next to it I also made the ears. I will attach them later on the head, when I'm attaching the head onto the body. Now nearly everything is finished. Now I'm getting to the cloth pieces around his stomach. For that I will use these two colors. This is a bit of, I would call it tan, and that is a bit of reddish dark brown. As you can see, it's already finished. Just two pieces of cloth, one in the middle, like the Native Americans would wear them, just a little bit of fur, and one around the waist. And now I think the last thing missing is his hair and his axe. So I'm going to attach his arms, the ears to his head, and then we're going to make the hair. Now, as you can see, I placed the axe in his hand, like he would be standing there waiting for something, or maybe ready to attack, but not in a very aggressive position. Now I'm going to put the head on his shoulders and add the hair. Now the troll is nearly ready, but two things are missing that I haven't even told you yet: the eyes and the tiny little tail. Of course, you can create your troll without a tail, and on this troll I don't even have a tail, because sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't. There's no need for inconsistency or consistency to say. This troll has a tail, you can see it here. And now I'm going to add the eyes and the tail. Now our tiny little troll is finished. You can see he's holding his axe, he has his tail, his hair. He doesn't have a beard like the other one on the side of his head. That's also a thing that you can make how you want it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that I'm able to upload it soon, so it won't take too long. And leave a comment if you like, and subscribe if you like. And yeah, have a nice day.